Welcome aboard, Captain.
Alright guys, welcome to Lesson 1. Alright, this is Web Dev Hacks here. We are going to go ahead and set up our environment and get our controller, routes, and everything else that we need set up as well. So, as you can see, I have my terminal open here. I am in a folder where I'm going to store my Laravel project called Tutorials. And we are going to type in Laravel, new, and we are going to do ToDo List, and we are going to hit enter. This will take a little bit to install, and I'll be right back as soon as it's done. Alright, now that it has started and it is all installed and everything like that, we're going to go ahead and cd into our to-do list application, and we're going to clear that out by hitting Command K, and then we are going to open this in Sublime Text. Alright, and let me move that over into the next window, and we'll go ahead and let's first set up our .env file. That seems like a good place to start. The database that we are going to use is going to be called tutorials.todo, and the username is going to be Laravel, and the password is going to be secret. Alright, and we will save this file, and that's all we need for that. Actually, we are going to change the app URL. I always like to do this because we want to add the port 8000 to this. We don't want to add the trailing slash, we just want to add the port 8000 because we are on a localhost environment. So let's go ahead and exit that out. I have SQL Pro open. You can get this downloaded on your computer. If you're on a Windows computer, whatever SQL program you want to use is perfectly fine by me. We're just going to go ahead and add a new database. We're going to call this tutorials.todo, and we're going to hit add. Alright, so now that that is all good to go, we are going to run our PHP artisan migrate command, but we are going to add the flag step. That way the two database migrations that we have in here so far, the create users and create password. Actually, you know what? We don't even need the users or the create passwords. So we're just going to actually delete both of these. Why have them? Because we don't have to. We don't need them right now. So we'll skip this step. And what we'll do first is run PHP artisan make controller. And we are going to call this the to-do list, or we're going to call this the tasks controller, because every to-do is going to be called a task. Every item in the to-do list is going to be called a task. And we are going to give the flag resource. And this is going to create our index, create, store, edit, update, and delete functions already for us. So that's going to be created. If we go and we open up our app, HTTP controllers, and then we look at tasks controller, as you can see, it has index, create, store, show, I forgot show, edit, update, and destroy. Wonderful. So we do not need the auth controllers here because we're not going to be doing anything with authentication, so we can actually just go ahead and delete those. And we don't need this user model here. We can go ahead and delete that. And let's see here, what else do we not need? Yeah, I think that's about it. So we have all this, and we'll get rid of this here. And let's see here, let's go to our routes, and we will get rid of this closer function, and the index is just going to be the tasks controller at index, and Actually, you know what? We don't even need to do any of this. Or yeah, we'll do that for now. And then we're also going to use the route resource. And this is going to be task, and that's the route that we're going to use. And then we're going to say that this is going to be the tasks controller. And that is going to be that. And I noticed that I spelled tasks controller wrong. So what we will actually do for the home page, we will put the home page actually underneath, because we want to create our task resource first. And then instead of doing the tasks at index, I'll change that here, and we'll just do a function, a closer function here. And we'll just do a return redirect, and then we're going to return it to the route of task.index, and we'll save. And if we look at our routes list, PHP artisan routes list, you'll see that we have the home page. It's a closure, right? We have the task, and we have task index, task store, create, show, update, delete, destroy, all that stuff, edit, and that's all good to go. So these are the only routes that we will need to work with. So our route list is actually completely done just by these two lines right here. We've created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've created 7 different routes with this one line right here, which is absolutely amazing. So we'll close out our web, and we will go to our app HTTP controllers again. We'll go to our tasks controller, and we will just return a string of this is the index page, just for testing purposes. We'll save that, and then we will clear that out. We will run our PHP artisan serve command, and we'll just open up a new tab in our terminal just to make sure that we are good to go here. And now let's go to our local host, port 8000. And as you can see, it has automatically redirected us to our /task. Even if we go to the home page, it automatically redirects us because of that closer function that we put in there. But we do have to make sure, and I will reiterate this again, if you go to your routes and web, you need to define your tasks resource routes first, because if you try to call a redirect route task index to a route that is not created yet, you will get an error. So you got to make sure that the home page is all the way at the bottom underneath of your task resource route method here. So that should be good. So the only thing that we need to do now is create a model. So we'll do PHP artisan make model, and we will put this in a models folder, and we're just going to call this task, the singular version. Task, not tasks, just task. And we don't need to add .php, it'll automatically do that for us. Hit enter, and now if you look back at our app, you see models here, which are wonderful, and you have the task model right here. We are going to define the table that we want to use. I always like to do this. It's not always necessary, but it's definitely something that I've gotten used to doing, just in case I ever change the table name or anything like that. I can automatically just go ahead and go in here and change this variable. So the table that we're going to use is the tasks table. I can tell already that this is going to be a problem, me spelling tasks throughout the course here. And we're going to use the tasks table. So the next thing that we need to do is run our PHP artisan make migration, and we are going to call this the create tasks table, and we're going to hit enter, and we'll close our routes, close our app. We don't need our tasks controller anymore. And as you can see, our migration create tasks table is here. So the first thing that we're going to need is we're going to need the table string, and that's going to be called the name of the task, and we want that to be required. We also want a table date function, or yeah, date, and that's going to be due date. And then we are going to need a table, or actually we'll put the date down there with the timestamps. The table text is going to be a description of the task. And the next thing, what else are we going to need? The name, the description, the due date, and yeah, I actually think that's it. So we're just going to go with that, and we can add things later on if we come up with them that we need. And I'll show you guys how to do that. And that should be all we need to do right now. I just want to make sure, though, I want to go to our Laravel documentation, laravel.com, and we are going to check out migrations, database migration. And we are going to create columns, and let's see here, is it date? Yes, we have date here. Okay, just wanted to make sure that that was actually, I'm not sure, I wasn't sure whether or not the date method was there. I knew date time was there, but I didn't remember if date was there, so we'll do that. And now we'll go back to our terminal, and we'll run php artisan migrate. And wonderful, it has created the migration successfully. So that means that we have set up our env file correctly. It was able to connect to our database, and it was able to create our table without us having to go back into our env file and change anything. So I believe that is all we are going to need to be set up. As you can see, the migrations, table has also been created. And that is basically a table that stores any type of migration that we do. So if we ever want to roll back a migration, this table here keeps track of the migrations that we are going to roll back. If we have our if we look at our tasks table, you can see name, description, due date, created at, updated at, and the ID. So like I said, I believe that's going to be all that we need. We have successfully set up our environment, and we are good to go. So in the next lesson, we are going to create our create form. We are going to use the Laravel collective in order to make that create form, and then we are going to store information into our database. And then in lesson 3, we will make the index page and retrieve the information. So I will see you guys all in lesson 2. If you guys want, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps me out and keeps me motivated to keep making these videos for you guys. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I will, every time I upload a video, I always shoot out a tweet letting you guys know, hey, a new video is out. And then also, if you give this video a thumbs up, that helps me reach the top in the search bar. So in the search results, so definitely make sure to hit that like button. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, you can feel free to tweet me. You can feel free to, comment down below in this video if it is lesson specific. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day.